Beat poetry titled Popufur. Omer.
This is a little too high, but it's okay, I got it. So this piece is called Popufur. The high fab labeled celeb of the furry domain, they stroll along the red carpets with fans at their feet, sit front and center in their royal seat. They exert their limitless power and cry out their somber stories whenever in peril, because they belong to a high society paved in gold. Or so we believe. So we idolize and stigmatize their existence because we wait in the shadows, hoping for the light to cast upon us. We just want to be noticed. And everyone knows who a Popufur is. But does everyone really know who a Popufur is? He said he wanted to be Popufur, but he just wasn't sexy enough to make the cut, so he masked his undesirable traits in a voluptuously bodacious, hyper-sexualized beast, dishing dollars on art wherever he could so he could be wanted, whose tagline read, "Just the tip." He traded beauty of the mind and self for manifestations of bodily pleasures. He had patrons fill his cup, but no matter how full his cup became inside, he remained empty. Now he never sees the light of day because he has a name to live up to. He's no longer himself, but a tool, a product to the same masses he clung so desperately onto. She wanted to be a Popufur. Not to appease the ego, but to appease the eye. She worked hard every day and produced masterpieces because she believed in the beauty of her craft and the magic of creativity. She had patrons lining up, but soon she became overwhelmed. So she ran double time on quantity, and on the first crooked line, she was done. Now she lives behind red X's marked beware because she was lazy and just in it for the money. They wanted to be Popufur, but they just didn't fit in well with others, so they saved up their money and bought a fursuit. They danced and pranced and left everyone in a trance, and slowly their inhibitions seemed to fade, their social anxiety slowly dissipated. They were happy, but then they ruined the magic in the most inexplicable way. Now they're depressed and suicidal because they removed the only thing that made them feel whole, because isolation was the only fitting crime. When did being popular make someone less human? Who even said it mattered? Without a hint of knowledge, we sit readily writing epitaphs, marking crimes never committed, because as soon as the watch list hits 1,000 plus, their lives are willingly submitted to us. Yet, there's something about that makes us feel envious. It sucks, I get it. It sucks to be ignored. It sucks to be persecuted. It sucks to be stuck behind a label. But does being oppressed justify the means of oppressing others? Maybe that's why I'm leaving is being dropped onto daily. Aside from FA's constant inability to function properly, believe me, that's another poem for another day. But it's so easy for us to place blame on someone who we think has it all. Because why bother feeling pain when we can just fabricate reasons to place it somewhere else? We create doppelgangers just to tell ourselves how undesirable we are. Then we curse it for having more friends, more faves, and better looks, instead of simply loving yourself and loving those who love you for who you are. It's hard. So we gossip and bicker and place blame on the fandom for being so dramatic. But is it really? Or are we so fixated on highlighting what's wrong that we forget the good that exists, the charity, the good acts? the acts of kindness, the very people we join the fandom for, all sink into the shadows of he said, she said. Maybe the good is just too boring. So we celebrate whenever we see giants felled because they deserve it, as if igniting this fiery rage within us. But who even said they asked to be put on a pedestal in the first place? It's innate. As humans, we seek glory and victory. Already broken souls, we feel even more broken when we can't achieve that status. But what rewards do we reap from hate and spite, other than headlines about our capacity to create trouble, of freaks against freaks in one massive freak show, because we all live in a spiral of fear. Fear of isolation, fear of being ignored, fear of death. Jealousy drives what empathy could prevent, so I empathize for those put on a pedestal without asking to be, because how lonely must it be to be adored but not cherished, to be seen but not directly heard, and cursed simply for being who you are, and for titles taken for granted, and those filled with malice. Heed my warning. When you put yourself in the spotlight, you inherit all the responsibilities that come with being a public figure. Don't abuse it. For we all came here with an understanding of what pain feels like. And with that understanding, we can come closer together. It's not hard. But how can we endeavor to be received by the world with open arms when we struggle to see the good in ourselves and the good in others, and instead use that knowledge to bring ourselves further apart? Thank you.